The music throbbed, a pulsating rhythm that echoed through the grand hall of Olympus. The air was thick with the scent of ambrosia and the intoxicating energy of the sunship and nymphs, their laughter and conversation mingling in a symphony of revelry. But Phanus was oblivious to the surrounding merriment. His gaze was fixed on Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, as she moved with a grace that was both divine and earthly. Her laughter, like a siren's song, called to him, awakening a primal hunger within him. As the music faded, Phanus, emboldened by desire and the lingering effects of ambrosia, approached Aphrodite. He found her reclining on a plush divan, the soft glow of the hall casting an ethereal light on her form. With a newfound boldness, he engaged her in conversation, his words laced with a charm he rarely displayed. Aphrodite, intrigued by his advances, turned her attention to him, her eyes sparkling with amusement. Clad only in strategically placed seashells, Aphrodite reclined invitingly. Phanus, unable to resist the temptation, reached out to caress her, his fingers tracing the curve of her hip. Aphrodite, ever receptive to the allure of a new conquest, leaned into his touch, her laughter echoing through the hall. But as she opened herself to him, to his energy, a disquieting premonition took hold. Aphrodite possessed a unique ability among the nymphs. When she bonded with others, she didn't merely share their emotions and desires, she adopted their powers, their very essence becoming a part of her. And in that moment, as she connected with Phanus, she sensed a terrifying potential within him, a latent ability to transform into a creature of primal rage and bestial instincts. The realization sent a shiver down her spine. This was not the divine union she craved. This was a potential for monstrous transformation, a darkness that threatened to consume her own ethereal beauty. "Wait," she breathed, gently pushing Phanus away. Her sudden hesitation confused him, his brow furrowing in concern. "What is it?" he asked, his voice laced with a mixture of desire and confusion. But Aphrodite, unable to articulate the fear that gripped her, merely shook her head, her eyes wide with apprehension. She couldn't explain the premonition, the chilling certainty that to fully embrace Phanus would be to invite a darkness she might not be able to control. Phanus, his desire now bordering on insatiable lust, misinterpreted her hesitation as a playful challenge. He pressed on, his hands finding her bare skin, his lips seeking hers. Aphrodite, caught between fear and her own burgeoning arousal, found herself unable to fully resist. A primal struggle ensued, her cries of protest mingling with the sounds of their passionate struggle. But Phanus, consumed by his desire, would not be deterred. He had tasted the divine, and he craved more. He pressed his advantage, his strength and determination, overwhelming her resistance. Aphrodite, realizing the futility of her struggle, surrendered to the moment, her fear giving way to a mixture of terror and exhilaration. She closed her eyes, bracing herself for the unknown, for the transformation that she both feared and craved. But the transformation never came. Phanus, though driven by his primal urges, remained in his divine form. He had not yet crossed the threshold, had not yet unleashed the beast within. The encounter left him shaken, confused, and strangely unfulfilled. He had tasted the forbidden fruit, but it had not brought the satisfaction he craved. He retreated from the hall, seeking solace in the solitude of the forest. He stumbled upon a hidden pond, its surface reflecting the moonlight. He gazed at his reflection, his heart heavy with unanswered questions. And then, as if drawn by an unseen force, he began to transform. His skin hardened, his features grew sharp and angular, his body contorting into a grotesque parody of his divine form. He watched in horror as his reflection shifted, revealing a creature of nightmares. He was a goat man, his legs ending in cloven hooves, his chest pierced by a gaping hole that exposed his beating heart. A serpent, its scales shimmering in the moonlight, coiled around his spine, its forked tongue tasting the air, and from his stomach another hole opened, revealing a writhing mass of smaller serpents, their bodies intertwined in a macabre double helix. But even as he recoiled from his own reflection, a sense of power surged through him. He felt the energy of the universe coursing through his veins, the very fabric of reality bending to his will. He was omnipotent, a god among gods, yet with this power came a terrible price. The longer he remained in this transformed state, the closer he came to merging with the all, to losing his individual identity in the vastness of existence. He was caught in a precarious balance, teetering on the edge of oblivion.